1854. In the mid-19th century, an era marked by the advancement of technology and the expansion of colonial empires, the seas were dominated by steamships that transported goods and passengers across the vast Atlantic. Against this backdrop, an extraordinary event unfolded, defying logic and leaving an indelible mark on the memory of everyone involved. The story of the Lightning Ship, a miracle of salvation and hope, continues to be a testimony to the divine power that works and inspires travelers. In 1854, the Lightning Ship, a British steamship, sailed from Liverpool bound for New York. On board, there were more than 300 passengers, including traders, immigrants, and families looking for a new start in America. The captain, Sir James Thompson, was an experienced man, known for his skill in sailing in adverse conditions. The crew was made up of veteran sailors, all confident in the ship's robustness and speed. After a week of travel, the Lightning Ship entered a storm zone in the middle of the Atlantic. Ferocious winds and gigantic waves began to crash against the hull, testing the vessel's limits. The storm showed no signs of abating, and the situation on board quickly became critical. Water began to invade one of the lower compartments, and the ship was shaking violently, threatening to capsize. Amidst the chaos, passengers gathered in the main hall, seeking comfort in each other and their beliefs. Reverend Samuel Jenkins, a missionary on his way to America, took the lead, calling everyone to a collective prayer, calling for a divine miracle. The Reverend's words echoed throughout the vessel, and the screams of worried children and mothers stood out. Even so, the Reverend tried to install a spark of hope in distressed hearts. Everyone there asked for a miracle and cried out to God for mercy. When the storm seemed to be at its peak, an inexplicable phenomenon occurred. Some men in the crew began to scream in disbelief. They said they were seeing a bright light approaching. Most of the men and some of the women and even some children began to move to see what was happening. As bad as the situation was at that moment, the crew's panic instigated a curiosity that was momentarily greater than the passengers' fear. They saw what they described as a full moon 10 times brighter, almost touching the waves, and coming quickly toward the vessel. It was not a lighthouse, nor a reflection of another ship, but a very strong light that moved like a hawk. The light approached, and illuminating the way through the darkness and the storm, it came to hover over the heads of everyone there. The passengers and crew looked on in awe, feeling a powerful presence that enveloped them. The fact was that as the light approached, until the moment the light could be seen above the ship, the fury of the storm began to subside. The winds calmed, and the monstrous waves turned into gentle ripples. Within minutes, the storm had completely disappeared, leaving the sea calm and the sky partially starry. The bright light hovered over the ship for a few more moments, as if reassuring everyone that the danger had passed, before slowly disappearing over the horizon. Days later, the Lightning Ship arrived safely in New York Harbor, and the passengers disembarked, all of them profoundly transformed into euphoria by the experience. The story was called a miracle and quickly spread, being reported in newspapers at the time and pulpits around the world. Reverend Jenkins continued his ministry, now with a powerful testimony of the power of God and the greatest feat he had ever witnessed, something that would become proof of everything he had preached up to that point. Captain Thompson, formerly a skeptic, became a man of faith, dedicating his life to telling the story of the miracle that saved his ship and its entire crew. Despite attempts at a scientific explanation, the event on the Lightning Ship remained a mystery. Meteorology and navigation experts were unable to find a natural cause for the bright light or the storm's sudden disappearance. Archaeologists and historians who examined the accounts concluded that although the story contained inexplicable elements, the consistency of the testimony gave credibility to what became known as a miracle. The story of the lightning ship is an undeniable testimony to the power and presence of God in the midst of the most monstrous and challenging trials. It's a reminder that even when all seems lost, faith can bring light to the darkness and make something that seems impossible completely possible. The miracle not only saved physical lives, but also renewed and strengthened the faith of many. In a world where reason and logic rule, this story stands as a beacon of hope and inspiration. It inspires because it is something witnessed by dozens of people of different ages, genders, and different beliefs. The story of an ordinary ship with ordinary people in the vastness of the Atlantic can change the lives of people who will probably never get on a ship. The experience that those witnesses have had since then invites us all to know and interpret the word impossible in a different way, and to trust in divine providence in a way that is as sharp and clear as if we saw the moon 10 times brighter.